Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is I'm no hero. I have a serious hero complex, you guys. Bless it. Bless it. May I cut it out? May I cut it out? Let me get off this high horse, y'all. God bless. I have consistently made choices to extend and offer all that I have. I do that a bunch because I feel like all of my blessings belong to the all. It's just a sea of atoms. I'm happy to share my atoms with your atoms. They're not my atoms anyhow. That's just the ego trying to own everything, you know? And so I'm happy to share what I have. And I think it's because my brain is wired a little differently, is one way to say it. Maybe it's because I'm an INFJ. Maybe it's because I'm a 29-11-2 life path. Who knows? Maybe it's this Cancer moon and Mars. I don't know. It's probably a combination of many things that have made this particular matrix of woman. And what I know is that suffering is difficult. There is no entity I have found in this realm that does not suffer. Doesn't matter your gender, your sexual identification, your culture, pick any label. And what I found to be true is that two-legged suffer. And I found it to be true that suffering is unpleasant and people don't want to suffer. And in that regard, I also have found suffering to be unpleasant and want to offer grace. Wherever I can offer grace, let me offer it in this place. And I will gladly give any entity grace. When people come to visit me, they know you can take the bedroom. I'll sleep on the couch. It's been one of the strange experiences having somebody, live in my bedroom on the couch as I have my bedroom in the living room, is that I didn't have my bed to offer people because weary traveler, by all means, get a good night's sleep. I get a good night's sleep every night here. And so I'm more than willing to give to others, or to sacrifice so that others may have and experience grace, because I would love to minimize the amount of suffering that can be experienced in this place. It is a passion and interest of mine. I love to nurture it as my nature. And we can court a lot of tomfoolery getting involved in places where it's really not our business to get involved when you are constantly working to play the role of hero. Heather's had no heroes. No hero has come and ever saved me from any darkened corner of experience that, I was supposed to face. I've had beautiful souls arrive post-trauma or tragedy. I remember I once had a car accident in which I hydroplaned and drove into a median, and I wound up getting this permanent blue dot on my arm when my airbags exploded, and it was jarring. And these amazing, beautiful Albanian men pulled over in their truck and gave me huge grace. So it's not, don't mishear me. I experienced many graces from the beauty of mankind. May every grace and every nectar amaret I've ever tasted of the grace from the amazing beauty of humans, may they taste it 1,000-fold for any drop of nectar anyone's placed in my cup. And there's been nothing to save me from the pressure that was needed to shine the diamond in me, if you will. There's been no one coming and clearing the mud, because without the mud in my cup of water, the lotus blossom would not bloom forth with the fragrance and beauty that it blooms forth on my Sahasrara crown chakra. So I tend to want to save people from their suffering, and it's not my job, and it's hard as a medicine person to drop that role. When I lived in Dallas, I was in the library all the time, and I made friends with a woman named Romika, and we became close enough to where she showed me where she hid her food, which is a huge, as somebody that lives on the streets, it's a huge thing for her to show me where her food stash is. And it was a really sweet moment for me. And she would teach me a lot about the street. She would say, you can tell, who the crack addicts are and who smoke and lie. And I was like, smoke and lie? Isn't lye used to make soap? She'd say, yeah, it's cheaper than crack, but lye rots your teeth. So you know who's smoking lye because they have the rotten teeth. And I was like, okay, wow, people out here smoking lye, okay? She taught me a lot about the streets, and I invited her to move in with me, and she did. And she was honorable. She didn't steal anything from me, but she had been in such a fight or flight survival mode that she would take her suitcase and all of her items with her into the bathroom every time she went to the restroom. Even though I had opened my home and my food and my pantry and everything to her, I was not safe, even though I was creating a safer space for her. And I understand it. Your brain gets wired a certain way. I got her a job with me at the World Center for Gratitude, and she wound up losing the job because one of the things that we hosted there were weddings. It's a beautiful, beautiful architecture space that I was well graced with working in. I loved working there. But there was a couple getting married, and it was raining, and she wouldn't let him in the door because she was so acclimated to protecting her space. And she wound up losing that job. And I ultimately had to move her out of my home. And you'd think since that happened decades ago, I'm just like, we can solve homelessness, move in with me. You'd think that I would have learned that it's important that you honor, your sacred temple, and that there are ways to serve, but that I don't necessarily have to serve in all of the ways. But I haven't necessarily learned that because I just watched myself again play hero with someone that was a stranger to me 3 months ago, 3 to 4 months ago, maybe 3.5. I met someone through a dating site, and we never dated or we never had any energy in that direction. We just were friends and had mutual spiritual understandings and interests. And so we became friends and started hanging out and having spiritual talks. And he wound up getting into a situation where his landlord was being very toxic, pulling his food out of the freezer and fridge, setting it in his room, and just doing weird stuff. And again, I immediately jumped into hero mode. Dun da da! Somebody grabbed my horse. I was like, move in with me. He was going to move to Washington. And I was like, just move in with me until you get your plane ticket to Washington. And that was a month and a half ago. And he just moved into a sacred space with this amazing couple that we just met. And he's in their house and he's getting settled in there. I've now moved my bed back into my bedroom and my couch back into my living room because I basically made the space an efficiency for me so that he could have a private room to be in. So it would be more comfortable. And there are a lot of things that I martyr myself or sacrifice in opening up my temple space. My home is sacred. It feels amazing to be in my home. I keep a real clean energy in it. And I am somebody who's had chronic depression and chronic suicidal ideation. I don't really have it anymore because I now know to look for the signs, symbols, and clues. Heather is depressed. If I go to bed with dishes in the sink, it's likely I'm depressed. If I have a hard time waking up, it's likely I'm depressed because I tend to get up at 5:55 usually in the morning or 6 something. If I am not taking showers every day, it's likely I'm depressed. So I know from decades of having had to deal with depression how to watch for the signs, symbols, and clues of me being depressed. And when I see them present, I take the steps. Get 15 minutes of sunshine so you can get vitamin D to ward off depression. Go take a cold shower. Go to the hot springs. Go do sensory deprivation. Go be on the mountain and meditate on the mountain, Heather. I know, even though it's hard because you're low energy when you're depressed, that when depression sets in, I got to take action. Well, my friend Christian moved in and he's sober. And so as a sober person, he doesn't hang out at bars or he doesn't hang out in alleyways where people are. Well, as a depressed person, it doesn't serve me to be around depression. And my friend just went through a depression. And I realized I've got to stop stepping into this role of hero because I can't save him from his depression. I'm not his hero. I can't save him from his circumstance. Why I, at 49, feel compelled after knowing someone for 3 months to be their hero. What are we doing, Heather? And he's a lovely soul. He never took a thing from me. He often would do the dishes after I would cook us dinners and stuff. And so I'm really grateful that he was honorable living here. And I'm grateful he has his new sacred space. And I'm really considering, why do I constantly need to martyr? I'm asking you this question today. Are you martyring yourself? Are you suffering so that others may have? And why are you doing that? Why are you on the bottom of the totem pole? I wouldn't change a thing that I've done because I learned a lot from Christian being here. I'm becoming more and more clear. I kept getting the Nine of Pentacles card. I got it for a long time before I moved to New Mexico. Nine of Pentacles is a woman that is single, lives alone. She's in her garden. And she's got her birds and her garden, and she's just happy as a lark. And I used to just be like, I would tell God, I don't understand, Spirit, why you give me this card, because I'm a romantic. I should be with the beloved until the end of time. I want to nurture the beloved. I want to create a home and make meals. And I mean, I got Cancer, Mars, and Moon. If you know anything about the zodiac, it is my nature to want to have a nest and to nurture family, nurture beloved. It's the way I feel, and it's my behavior. And having Christian helped me to realize how, it's like once you get back to a space of having shared your space, then it becomes yours again. You go, oh, I really do enjoy being with myself. I am a silly broad. I've worked very hard to shift, to make sure that I'm in a state of enjoying my life, in a state of joy. And as my friend was struggling with depression and going through his own stuff, I just realized, like, this is a sacred space, and I am well graced to be in a place where I enjoy my own company. I like me. I love me. I really don't have any needs. My bills are paid. They are almost nothing. I pay like a sack of nickels and peanuts to live in this place. And I have my beautiful cat, and I have my beautiful jobs, and I have my beautiful friends, and I have my beautiful family, and I need for nothing. And so I'm grateful because Christian helped me to realize, like, I don't know that I crave relationship as much as I think. I can be romantic with myself and, give myself bubble baths and, or whatever, I can take myself to the hot springs. I love to be alone. So he's helped me to have less attachment to the idea of being with the beloved. There's a part of me that thinks that'll always be in me, just because I grew up with a mother missing the love of her life because he drowned in the river. And so there are many things that cause me to be in a frequency of this. But I've seen this with my sister. When her husband died, when Braxton passed, I immediately was like, I'm moving to Texas, and I'm going to live in her house, and I'm going to work and pay the bills, because she's homeschooling my nephew, and I want her to be able to the best of my ability, I'm going to offer everything I have so she can maintain the quality of life that she's used to having. And so Braxton usually paid the bills and worked, and she would homeschool my nephew. And so I thought, I'm just going to go. My job is remote. I can go work there and pay her bills. And it was a rude awakening to recognize, like, that wasn't the path that Spirit had laid out for any of us. And it's also not my job. I can't save her from this terrible, tragic loss. I would give everything. I would give each of my teeth. I'd give my very eyes if I could support someone I love in not suffering. I'd give you my fingernails. You know what I mean? Like, right off my hand. There's nothing I wouldn't give for the ones I love. And we are not in this realm to be coddled and to have everything feel good all the time. I do not want beings to suffer, and it is pressure that makes the diamond. The lotus blossom blooms in mud. It is through contrast we are able to offer the content of our character. And so we are not here at Earth School in a dualistic realm to have everything be rainbows and butterflies and chase me, tickle me, Yes, do I want to play chase me, tickle me? Do I want to have the catch-up fights? Do I want to laugh and endlessly? Yes, and that is part of it. Should everybody get a puppy? Yes, that is part of it. And we are here to evolve, and evolution happens through discomfort. We recognize truly who we are through a darkened hour, and we often do it alone. So I'm asking you today, because I've played hero in I've had a lot of exes. Even my ex I went to go see play the other day, he's like, Heather, remember when I almost lost my job? You immediately were like, well, move in, I'll pay the bills. I'm already able to pay my bills. You don't have to, you can just come and play guitar in my house. And so when you even have your ex going, yeah, you try to play hero with me too, you start to kind of reevaluate the things that you do. Are you martyring or trying to suffer or trying to take away from the self in order to give to others? Why are you doing that? Are you playing hero? Do you know that you're worthy of love, irrespective of what you offer in this world? Do you know that you are worthy of being loved and you don't have to give a drop to the ocean of existence and you're still worthy of love? Is it possible that you can be a hero to the self instead of constantly trying to put yourself upon a shelf? You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there. I always love your thoughts. I'm Moon.